This is tape number 12976-2. Dr. Ream, Wednesday morning, 10:45, September the 15th, 1976, continues his talk on cause and effects, withdrawal patterns, and theory of ionization. Requesting tape number 12-976-2.
Will somebody come up and read these questions, please? Now you can record.
How long does a patient stay on chaparral?
Until the numbers come to, until the pH comes to normal.
What other sugars are in the blood that are not measured by the glucose tolerance test? What other sugars are in the blood that are not measured by the glucose tolerance test?
All of them. I would suggest that you go to the library and get a book on sugars. It would take about 3 hours to name them.
Will pattern represented by test numbers obtained in tests during pregnancy change to a different pattern after birth?
It will, but slowly.
What effects does antibiotics such as tetracycline and penicillin have on the body?
I drew this out on the board for you yesterday.
Is the effect reversible, and how is this accomplished?
Just by eating yogurt, cheeses, and so forth.
How do you deal with colds and the flu?
Increase the vitamin C.
Is that all the questions that were passed in?
No. Follow it, go by the numbers.
Deposits of mineral and cholesterol in blood vessels reversible with distilled water. How long does it take?
You first have to lower the salt before it's reversible.
Explain collagen disease and how it relates to scurvy. Is a fast necessary to correct?
Collagen disease is scurvy. It is scurvy. It's a vitamin C deficiency. It affects different people differently. But all of it makes, actually, vitamin C is the substance that knits the cells together that carries electrical charge, and the breakdown in vitamin C is the first sign of a breakdown of taking the message from the brain to the vital organ. And this starts an area in which even though there's mineral in the body that is available and digested, it cannot get to that area if the vitamin C is too low. And this is scurvy or old-fashioned scurvy, or today collagen disease.
Please explain that lemon juice should not be given when water only is appropriate.
Please explain why lemon juice should not be given when water alone is only appropriate. I answered that question this morning, and that is whenever you have to change body chemistry from one range to another.
Please explain the cause of herpes simplex.
I do not know. It's a variable with different people.
Do you need full eye numbers on each retest for the computer?
The only eye numbers about every month or two.
Explain chelation process like Dr. Evers uses.
I do not know. I have not. It would work variable with different people.
Explain leprosy and its correction.
I answered those yesterday.
Okay. Well, that's yesterday. Can a patient on a kidney machine be helped with this program?
If the kidneys are still in, yes. If they've been removed, no.
How and when do you use Zest tonic with a heart attack?
Zest tonic, with a straight heart attack, is not advisable unless, well, it's just not advisable, period. You only use that whenever the heart palpitation is caused because of acute indigestion. And acute indigestion, you can tell acute indigestion by cold hands and feet, which is not. Now, you may have a person that's having a real heart attack. It's possible. I've never seen one, but it is possible to have acute indigestion and a heart attack at the same time. Then it would be permissible to give Zest tonic. All I'm saying is that if it was a real heart attack, Zest tonic will not do any good unless it is brought about or the palpitation or stiffening of the heart is brought about by too much gas in the stomach.
How and when do you use, what will clean the pipettes well enough so they do not contaminate the ammoniacal nitrogen? And when do you use alcohol?
Soda. The pipette should go through the soda solution. And you should have specific pipettes for each bottle that you leave in the bottle once it's open, unless you move from one place to another. If so, put your pipettes through a soda bath, then a water bath, then an alcohol bath, and then alcohol dries very quickly out of the pipette.
When you want to lower blood sugar below 1, do you have to fast along with the water intake if there is a problem in lowering the blood sugar?
Not necessarily. You may not have to fast. This should have to go by the numbers. All those have been read.
People who have suffered strokes and are paralyzed and unable to talk after several months be helped. Is that an old one?
Many of them can be helped.
I think the questions, there's a pile here from 3 days now, so.
What causes psoriasis and what do you do about it? Psoriasis is caused because of lack of vitamin A. And what do you do about it? First, you get the body chemistry corrected as best you can, and then take the lemon, after you have squeezed the juice out of it in the rind, and rub the lemon juice and a little bit of oil that's on the skin on the psoriasis, and in 2 weeks it will be absolutely clear.
And how do you eliminate a corneal ulcer?
How do you eliminate a corneal ulcer? There again is a vitamin A deficiency. And also you eliminate it first by, I would suggest using the eye wash that's sold by International Agricultural Laboratories. Also, discontinue eating high-calorie foods like pork, mackerel, tuna fish, rabbit, and those things. Those are the chief causes of corneal ulcers. Yes? No. There's just cleaning a pipette for urine. Is hot water sufficient? No. Dry tissue, plain dry tissue is the finest thing in the world to clean your refractometer with. Just Kleenex, or clean Kleenex each time. If you will use the Kleenex each time, it will do an excellent job. If you're careful, you can be a smearbilly if you want to and get all over it, then you better give it a bath. But if you keep it and handle it carefully, a Kleenex will, I wasn't casting any reflection on any individual, but if you put the right amount, 2 drops, is generally sufficient, and put it in the middle with a little bit of care, you can close it without losing any of it or spreading it on the outside. You should close it gently, but there are people that makes it messy out of everything they do. Then I would suggest a bath, but if you can do it without getting the urine all over everything, it's all right. Just plain water is generally sufficient on not alcohol, but be careful with it, because if you get it in the hinges and so forth, the first thing you know, the ammonia and the salt is going to have your refractometer rusted to pieces. Yes. Any more questions? I talked about contagious diseases yesterday. Use the same process, soda baths and alcohol. This is what you use. Did you take my program away, my synopsis? Okay. Did you have a question? Whenever you call the undertaker, stop giving lemon juice. Sir? Now, I want to give you the first problem that I've given you to solve all by yourself. It's 35. Female, height is 5 feet, and the male height is, 5 feet 5 inches, and the female height, the male height, the male is 6 feet and 1 inch. And weight for the female is 140, and for the male it's 200 pounds. Now this is a problem.
Repeat that, Doctor.
4.2 for the sugar, 6.90 over 710. 28 C 4M and 7 over 12. This is a very common problem that you see. Now write down both for the male and the female. It's different. You have 5 minutes on this problem. Write down also what you would do to solve this problem. No, these are not to be handed in. First question is this. Which one has the lowest energy rating? Female. Why? That's right, because the calcium is the greatest deficient, yes. Now, check your points with these as I go over them. First one is low blood sugar, food digesting too slowly, needs colonics. This is both of them. Cholesterol is near the danger point. Cholesterol is near the danger point. Then the fatigue, tiredness, going over too fast, and proteins are not digesting normally. Also in the male there is delta cells in the prostate area. In the female, there is delta cells in the uterus, vagina, ovary, and bladder area. In this case, there's also some delta cells in both breasts, very minor. Also, the female is in the tip edge of menopause, because of the lack of calcium lactate. She's more nervous than she should be. Also in the female there's an iron deficiency. She's slightly anemic. The male isn't. Why? Because the greater amount of calciums you have, the greater amount of iron you will need. That's a rule, don't forget it. Because of the basics change in your body chemistry causes the woman to need a lot more iron than the man. B12 would be an excellent way to get iron, as well as ferro, 8 drops of ferro twice a day for the female. Now, in the man, there's breast bursitis here in the shoulder muscles, but not in the woman. Why? That's a yes?
In a bursitis case, the colon is alkaline.
Right.
And in the woman's case, she can afford to be a little more alkaline than the man.
Right, exactly. That is exactly the answer. Right. Now, there's one more reason that both of them have problems. Now what? Now we're going to start correcting the problem. Yes?
They both have, the man is getting referred low back pain from the prostate. Is it
Right. Right.
Is the woman?
Hers is a little higher up. Not right at the tip end. Hers is a little higher up because of the overload on the kidneys and the lack of iron. Now let's see what we're going to do about it. Now, how are we going to solve this problem? All right, the colonics are recommended, yes. How many? 1 a week for how many weeks? 4 to 6 weeks and maybe 8. How do we get that? By your pH readings. Now, what's the next thing you're going to recommend? Lemonade with a different sweetener in it each day and distilled water. A different sweetener each day. Now, lemonade on the hour and the water on the half hour, yes?
How can you predict the person's pH 7 to 8 weeks away? You said colonic 7 to 8 weeks, depending on the pH.
Who will answer that question? What's that?
It's going to take that long to clean the excess amount of protein out of the colon. That's there right now. If they're there right now, due to the fact they've probably been impacted.
That's true, but there's one more reason. There's one more reason, yes.
You don't change your range that rapidly.
That's true, but there's another reason.
Their energy is high enough.
That's one reason, but there's another reason, yes.
Once you start to make a change, it takes 7 weeks to turn the cellular mechanism around.
That's right. Why? Why? That's a true answer, but why?
Did you give that good answer on the case?
Yes, because it takes that long to get the cellular action change. But because the salt has caused the colon to expand, it's gotten a little larger, and it takes time for it to come back to normal, which the doctor just gave us the result, but didn't tell us just exactly how it was done. Now, there's some other things that should be done. What's that? Yeah, dolomite, 2 dolomite, 3 times a day. And what else? 2 men called twice a day for how long?
45 years. 60 days.
60 days, 2 men called twice a day for 60 days, that's correct. And then 2 a day for how long? 65 years. 65 years. Well, the next month ends at 60 days. In other words, you go 1 month. At this age, you go 1 month. Now, above 40, you go 2 months. And above 60, you go about 4 to 6 months. And at 80, you always go 6 months to a year on your men call. Or 2 or twice a day, that long. Now, during pregnancy, you go 2 twice a day during pregnancy and lactation. Now, always write down the number of years. Don't just say the rest of your life, because that could be 6 months. But if you say 65 years, then they got a goal to work toward. In other words, it makes a lot of difference in how you say it. Instead of saying the rest of your life, say 65 years. I just gave a daughter that recommendation, and her mother was there. Her mother was 91, And I said the mother 9 years and the daughter I think had 40 years. And the mother laughed and said, get it. I don't have to take as long as you do. Yes.
Would you put this patient on K-Men?
Yes. Not if she's pregnant. That's right. Not if she's pregnant. That is correct. Yes, this is a worm situation here. What's that? Because there's no sheen in the hair. What's that? That's right. Yes? They work to both, but here's where the story is over here. Let me ask this, too. Let me tell you something about hair and hair drying. People that have worms have to use the hair dryer 4 times as long as those that don't have them, because the hair holds more water. The longer you have to stay on the hair dryer, the more worms you've got, because the wax and oil in the hair keeps the water from penetrating as deeply like a sponge, and it doesn't take as long to get it out. Hair from people that have a sheen on it dries quickly, even without a hair dryer. But if you have worms, it takes a lot longer on the hair dryer. Yes? About 2 weeks it begins, but 30 days, 40 days, 60 days, it should really get a real sheen on it. Yes. How long could you expect when you give a person K-Men till the hair has a sheen in it? 2 weeks you should begin to see a difference. So these are problems in the way to solve this problem. There's one more factor here I thought maybe you'd like to pick out. Who got this last factor? Anybody got it? No. No, one more factor here. Minor. Not acute, but minor. That's very minor, but yes? A little bit of emphysema, a little, but... Well, I wouldn't get as much pleasure out of it, I'll say it that way. Yes? Getting near it, yes, but not yet. Yes? Yes, this is a liver problem.
Showing at the sugar in the tissues, therefore,
A little bit, yes. A little angina, but that's not the one I thought you was going to tell me yet.
Too much salt in the diet?
Yes, too much salt in the diet. Yes, there's a little bit of cholesterol, yes. Irritability, yes. Not yet. Not yet. Constipation, slightly, yes. That is it. They need a spinal adjustment. Right. What's that? Both of them. Both of them need spinal adjustments. Because the messages is not going through properly to make these numbers perfect. The whole thing. I thought your chiropractor would have pounded on that first. A good many, most of them do, yes. Most people need a chiropractic adjustments, yes. They really do, what? Right. Right, they need chiropractic adjustments. These numbers are the best friend the chiropractor ever had. Best friend ever had. So, it's great to have friends like this, your chiropractors, and the doctors also, medical doctors also need this to show what to do. Yes? No, it's both alkaline. Both alkaline. Now, would you say there's a calcium deficiency here? Right. Yes. Now, there's one more thing I thought you'd give these people that you haven't, that give these folks. Some pickle juice, but there's something else I thought you would give them. Algavin, yes, 2 Algavin 3 times a day. Vitamin C, 1,000 units twice a day between meals. And what else? There's vitamin E, yes, vitamin E, 1,000 units twice a day between meals. Vitamin E thins the blood to take care of the extra delta cells and omega cells that's thrown into the bloodstream. So, yes?